Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Is it evening? It's evening where we are.
hmm
It's evening where we are. It may not be evening where someone else is, depending upon where they are. It might be morning.
Yeah, well.
It might be afternoon.
Hey, K Munin, how
Yes,
you
K
doing?
Munin is here.
Hello to everyone that has taken time out of their schedule to join us this night and say hi and chat and hang out and talk and shoot the breeze and all of that. We really appreciate it.
Raccoon is here.
How you doing, Raccoon
People are
Eyes? How you doing,
starting
Gilgamesh?
to cascade in and
Give people
say hello.
time. Hope you had a very uneventful week. And if it was eventful, I hope the events were
Mm,
pleasant, that it wasn't bad events to cause you much stress, um, or to cause you heartache and pain, but
been a
it's
lot of
enough going on. So I hope your week was very uneventful.
Oh, yes, I did see those. Munin
Mm,
did get already their prize
good.
from our trivia contest that we
Yes.
held last Saturday,
Yes.
and sent a couple of photographs of where they set it in their collection. You didn't see it yet. I saw it. I saw it in the email, but you didn't see it yet.
Hey nerd, how you doing?
Oh,
It's
midnight.
midnight in the UK.
It's got to
You
be
see,
midnight
heard you.
somewhere. And Austin
Hey,
is there.
everyone, how's everyone doing today? Yeah, we doing good. Had a very uneventful week, which is
Hmm.
always good, as I said. Yes,
We
and we're
did
gonna
hear that.
not bringing up politics, not showing what side, but
Yeah,
we pray for everybody. No matter how you feel about a person, the guy,
yeah,
he's a father. He got kids. He got a wife. So we pray for him. Hope that all goes well. I think about
yeah.
his son a lot because he got a young boy that has to grow up with all this turmoil.
But it
But
seems like is it
yeah,
evidently it was unsuccessful, the attempt. They appear to have like taken an ear off. They appear to have winged his ear. um so and it sounds awful, but at the same time, it's
thank you, T. Stu.
yeah, T Stewart making fun of the beard and
The
braids,
beard and
beard and
braids.
braids from the beginning.
I
but
braided his beard. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
but yeah, it looks like they
Clip
tore
his
his ear.
ear.
Yeah, they took his
Yeah.
ear off.
Yeah.
But that's messy and unfortunate, but also lucky
Yeah.
because another inch could make all the difference.
I know. But we're not going to talk about that
Yeah,
because we don't want to, you know.
turned into a political
Yeah.
discussion.
But,
You know how people get.
yeah, but we do pray for him because, again, he is a human. No matter what you feel about him, he does have kids. He got that young boy. I feel so bad for him. And he got a wife. So that's the end of that. But I did braid David's beard this week.
It's not
It
braided
was a
now.
no, we took it out right away. But we did a braid and we took it all the way around. And it looked good. He didn't like it, but
She
whatever.
didn't do it right.
Hey,
Willie is here
Willie,
from
how are
Milwaukee.
you? And Gilgamesh said apparently Richard Simmons died today.
Yeah, there's been
Yes.
like four in a row in the last couple of days
Yeah,
because,
Richard Simmons.
well, the young boy from Alf,
Oh, yeah. What
he
was his
died.
name?
I can't remember. He was found dead in his car. Him and his dog. He had a
Oh,
service
jeez.
dog, and they were found dead in the car from heat exhaustion or heat stroke or something.
Mm.
Then then it was Shelley Duvall.
Yeah, Shelley Duvall from The Shining, and she played Olive Oil on Popeye.
Yeah, and she also had Fairy Tale Theater, which people don't remember her for that. That was a good show. That was a really, really good show.
Right.
Robert complaining about the fonts.
I know. Robert Light Blue.
Keebler says it was uneventful until today. Prayers for him, and
Mm-hmm.
that it wasn't a false flag event is exactly
Yes.
what I want to hear about you and what's going on. Okay,
Yes.
says Keebler.
Yes. Yes.
So then Shelley Duvall,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dr. Ruth Westheimer.
I didn't know she was still
Yeah,
alive. What is she, like 140?
she 96 or 98 years
Wow,
old.
because I
Yeah,
remember her from the 80s and it looked like she was 90 years old then.
yeah. She looked like she was in her 90s and her 80s. Well, she's like 4'10" or something, and she didn't age gracefully. Neither did Shelley Duvall. I've seen recent pictures of her. She's unrecognizable.
Oh
If you
wow.
saw her pictures, you would never guess that was Shelley Duvall.
Mm,
Keebler didn't know about the boy from Alf. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that whole and then of course Richard Simmons was announced today. He's I
Yeah.
believe 76, and I'm kind of surprised because usually those kind of fitness gurus, as it were, tend to last longer. I remember what's his name, um, Jack LaLanne, the original
Hmm.
fitness guru. He was damn near 100 when he passed.
Yeah, but Richard Simmons had been going through some stuff. You remember a
That's
few
true.
years back he disappeared for a while,
Yeah.
and they were saying that he was battling with some issues then. Shelley Ball was
A
is shocked
shock.
how
Now
now
Richard
Richard
Simmons,
Simmons,
yeah.
yes.
And then Easel Monkey wants us to ease off on the Migos slander. Hey, I don't have a problem with them. Although, I think it's interesting that they chose characters that required less soft goods. Because, like,
Hmm.
for example, Spectre is basically wearing a pair of underwear. He's got nothing on.
Yeah.
They've except for Lex Luthor, everybody's basically naked.
I mean, I know, and the thing is, back in the 70s, even in the 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s,
Yes.
they had cheesy toys. It
Yeah.
was made that way then. And now you look back at it, and you kind of admire that. You're like, oh, okay, this is what it was. It was a cheap company back then, like Davis Durham toys.
Yeah.
They were they're cheaply made, look like crap. But that was what in the 70s those toys were made. They were
Yeah, those are early
knockoffs of
70s.
something else.
Yeah.
Now, with all this technology, everybody's recreating. They don't look as good as they did back then. Because like I said before, I have the Flash Gordon figures and those things look good.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
mean, they just look cheesy. I,
And
I
then
mean, they'll probably grow on you.
the Durhams. I mean, they were less than $1
Yeah,
retail. They weren't. Nobody was charging like 30, 40, 50, $60 retail
yeah,
for them, and then they break on you
yeah,
after all of that. People when you really look at the contrast of because I don't care what people say about the economy. Easel Monkey says he's kidding,
yeah. We
but
know, but it's just that
yeah,
the way
it's
those
cool.
toys look, it's just like, oh,
But if you look at like let's say I grab any of the old GI Joes, you get the GI Joes back here, they're over there,
mm-hmm.
and some of them have price tags and they're around $3.99. Okay, I mean $2.99. That's the average, about $2.99. Um, so back in the '80s, the equivalent of an hour's pay at minimum wage. Okay, because minimum wage was 3.15 to 3.35. So with tax, you're paying roughly an hour's pay for one GI Joe figure. How much does it cost now? Is it an hour's pay, or is it like 2-3 times that much?
Mm-hmm.
It's and you're getting less.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's something about that just doesn't feel right at all.
I remember My Pet Rock.
It
Um,
came in a little box.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that went all the way through the 80s, I think, because I remember that. And I remember the Chia Pet too. They had that head of
They
whatever.
still make Chia Pet.
Mm-hmm.
NECA owns that now.
Yeah, and they make famous people because before it was like a dog, a cat, and you just pour water on it and it started to
Remember the
grow.
commercial?
Chia,
Chia. Yeah.
yeah. At least
Watch
we
it
still
grow.
have Shatner and Hasselhoff,
Yeah.
Stallone and Arnold. When they go
Feel
lost.
lost. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a shock, but
Oh, Gilgamesh says you see the McFarlane Clock King and Ragman that just went up. Those are
yeah,
kind of figures I want more of because I
yeah,
don't get enough love from the toy company. No,
yeah.
he does pull a rabbit out of the hat every once in a while with figures that you didn't expect to see. Yeah, we showed the Ragman on the last roundup.
Yeah, and it was so weird because we talked about that on one of the live streams, and then later that week I saw it advertised that they were going to come up with that. I wish they did a little more with the Ragman cape. Um, Made it more like what he did with the Spawn cape, where it was bigger and more flowy and more elaborate. because in the comics, the KP War was like it was alive. Well, the suit was alive and it had a
Yes.
cape and it was alive and it kind of pulled him in the direction they wanted to go and he had to learn to control it. And then when he wanted to, he would let them well let it because it was each piece was a spirit of a person. He would let it lead and it would just flow and do all of that.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I like that. I'm a definitely get that one. And I'm a hunt down the Spectre. I might have to end up going on eBay, but I'm gonna wait until the next retro because it's a person there that got like every McFarlane and Legend figures on Earth.
Yeah,
So
you
I'll
see
wait.
that there. You do see that there.
Yeah, yeah, the Elvis and Chia Pet.
Williams there talking about Hickory Farms, and that was the name of the place that we
Yeah.
brought up the other day. The Hickory Farms. We used to get that catalog with all that food you couldn't afford. He says Hickory Farms used to set up kiosks at the mall every holiday
Oh,
season,
really?
and they had the catalog. These days, I don't think they set up anymore. There'd be no point. The malls are dead.
Yeah. Hey,
And
Happy.
Happy Sanjo is here,
Yeah.
and
And
David
David
McNichol.
is here. Hey, David. The McFarlane. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, he likes the.
I like that one
Well,
too.
Adam West is just
Yeah.
classic. Adam West is just classic, and that parody show was a lot of fun, and it holds up.
Yeah, we are going to a
Tomorrow,
convention tomorrow.
tomorrow
The
is the
comic book show.
Atlanta Comic Convention in
That one is
Atlanta.
on Sundays when they
Yes,
do have it.
so we'll be attending that.
Yeah. Those accurate screen
It
root.
says Severus.
Yeah. Somebody, I don't know who, I was going through the comments.
Yeah,
They ordered it. They ordered the Rudolph that came with the little pieces, and they want to see how it do before they get the rest. So
yeah, because
I'm
because it
interested.
tells you if you're not happy, just go ahead and cancel. So you can
Yeah.
cancel anytime apparently, and not get the next item in the list.
I'm gonna reply and tell them whoever went because I can't remember who it was.
Hmm.
When they get it, take pictures and post it up on Facebook so we can see it. Cause they look really good. It's just like $100 a piece, you
Yeah,
know.
but I mean, and again, though they are 1-to-1 scale with the original models, and that's the thing. Like I said, the Cornelius is 13 inches tall, so it's not like a small piece.
Mm-hmm.
And in sharp contrast to what people are charging, say what you want about Bradford Exchange, because I don't deal Bradford Exchange. I just thought that it was interesting. And somebody says, "Oh, Bradford Exchange, their quality's not that great." And I'm like, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe they are, maybe they're not. But that really hit the nostalgic sweet spot, and the price is right, because you can imagine if any other company did that, it'd be 3 times the price for this stuff. You
Mm-hmm.
know.
Had to hold myself back from buying too much earlier. Picked up the Astro Boy jersey and a new chest for my card collection.
Hmm.
Okay. I used to love those strawberry candles that came with the hickory.
Candies,
Man,
candies.
okay, candy. Wow, you actually bought from
Oh,
them.
I'm jealous now. And
We never
Okay,
got nothing.
Gilgamesh said Spectre has dropped some. He
Oh,
looked him up a couple of days ago. He was around 100, but now there are a few around
okay.
50. It's still too much for them, they think.
Yeah, it is. That's still a lot because I looked it up too
Hmm.
on eBay, and they have the metallic one, and that one goes for like 100, and then the regular one you can get for like $25-$30.
Hmm.
I would like both, but the $25 one is good.
And
Yeah.
William wants to know if that Rudolph line from Bradford Exchange is mixed media. Yes, they
Oh,
are.
it is. Hey,
They're yeah, they're
Uncarded,
yeah, they're no trivia night tonight.
and hey, William Randall. That was your first thing.
They Yeah, they are clothed. They're supposed to resemble exactly the
Oh
original
wow.
dolls that were used.
And you said they are figurines, right?
Um, I'm not sure if they're
Oh.
posable. I think they might be wired bodies.
Oh.
I'm guessing. I'm not 100% on that. They might be, because that's how the original ones worked. They were wired, basically
Mm-hmm.
dolls
Yeah.
with clothing on it. And I think that's what they've done.
Mm.
But still, even if they don't really pose, I don't know.
Yeah, I do like those Sesame Street, but they They're not, well, it doesn't really matter for me because I'm not going to take it out the box anyway, but they're not action figures. And then I did get the Super 7 um, reaction figures of the Sesame Street. And then I have the original Sesame Street. So I kind of don't need any more Sesame Street. But I do like it. I like what they're doing with it. I would, because it's NECA, you kind of need to see their packaging because you know they have that window box,
Yeah, or they do
or
the
they got a
card.
card.
They might do them like they're Toonie Terrors and put them on cards.
I mean, it would be nicer, I think,
Yeah.
if they put it on cards and make a nice picture on the card. I think that would draw people more than a box.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even with the flap, they can do something nice with the flap, but I think people want to see it. But like I said, I have so many Sesame Street right now. I don't think I really want any more. So
Gnomsky says they're tempted by the Rankin and Bass figures. They mostly want the characters from the Little Drummer Boy.
Man, I saw the Little
Drummer
Drummer
Boy
for the first time
that is serious as a heart
last
attack.
year. Whoa!
It is not a comedy like the other ones. It is not. It is very serious.
Yeah,
and
that was.
It gets intense. I mean, they don't.
Especially at the end.
They don't directly show it either. But I mean, for those, spoiler alert, they don't show it directly, but they imply it. He's basically watching his parents burn to death in a house, and it's like, holy crap, this is nothing like anything else Rankin Bass. It stands alone. I don't know if they would ever reproduce anything from that. And Reston is here.
Hey, Reston, how
they
you
don't
doing?
even really show that one.
No, we have it on DVD.
Yeah.
And during Christmas time, we will watch those classic shows. It's a few shows that we will watch. We watch all of those Rankin and Bass. We watch Peanuts. We watch Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Not even that. What's the one with the Scrooge? With Scrooge and the ghosts?
Oh, Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol.
Various types of Christmas
we watch
Carol.
the different types of Christmas carols, and we watch some other cartoons. So we do that.
Yeah.
And it's always fun. It wouldn't surprise me if Bradford Exchange does. Wow.
Frosty would be cool. That would fit. That would fit nicely with that whole lineup.
With the big old abominable snowman and all of that.
Oh, well, Bumble is from Rudolph, though.
It is? Okay. Yeah, we all get
if they do Bumble, because he's like twice the height of
that's true.
Of Cornelius at least. But he can put the star on the top of the Christmas tree.
That's true. They have a Tomy Refit Enterprise coming out for $600. That actually looks like the Refit Enterprise. I'm thinking I might pick it up, even though it's $600. It looks just like the Motion Picture Enterprise.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay.
$600.
$600. And what scale though? How big is it going to be? It's going to be like that. This.
Are you going to hang it from the ceiling?
Hang it from the ceiling.
I've been trying to get David to hang his
dancing on the ceiling
and stuff from the ceiling, but he won't. But we do have some pickups.
Oh no!
Because we went to
an estate sale.
Yeah, an estate sale. We went to a couple of yard sales. That was a bust.
Yeah, we went to there was supposed to be this big church yard sale,
and it was big.
It was a big, and it wasn't exactly a yard sale though, because it was like they were all professional, like flea market vendors. You could tell pulling out there with the trailers and setting tables up, and so it was all flea market junk, and it's like ugh. Willie said Mr. Magoo Christmas. I don't think I've seen that one.
I've never seen that one. Hey, Willie, how you doing? And we got who? Slade. Jax Pacific, Bardock, and Vegeta.
Bardock or Vegeta. No, I don't have any. I don't think I have anything from Jax. She has Jax, but they're wrestlers.
Yeah, they're all wrestlers. 35 inches long,
okay,
I think.
So 3 feet, just almost 3 feet long.
So.
Oh, no.
We went to this state sale, and this is what I got. I found some original Rainbow Bright, and he wanted $1 for both.
And you know what's kind of funny about this?
And it's the wrong dress.
It's the wrong dress. But you know what's funny about these is we just started watching this yesterday.
Yeah, the Rainbow Bright cartoon.
Because we tied it into our new we added it to our
lineup.
Our lineup. And we just started watching Rainbow Bright yesterday, and we weren't sure. We weren't sure. And it's what Reston says. Just saw Steve Urkel sleeping a signed book, and signed Funko Pop, selling $129.
Wow.
I wonder what he can get for an autograph. He's not that big of a star. But we just started watching it last night, and we were like, Rainbow Bright. That show is funny.
Mm-hmm.
That show is surprisingly good. I was shocked. And the main villain's voiced by Peter Cullen. You almost can't tell. But the main voice of the villain is Peter Cullen. But that show was actually funny. It held up.
Mm-hmm.
It's done by DIC Entertainment with Hallmark. Hallmark doing the writing and everything.
Rankin did all the Little Drummer Boy characters as figurine sets like 20 years ago, but nothing since. They go for hundreds of dollars on eBay. Just the three wise men are like $300 to $500.
Wow.
And Reston meant to say selling. He saw Steve Urkel selling
signed Funko Pops for $149. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. A couple of people, Shelley Duvall, who played on The Shining and Popeye
and Fairy Tale Theater, and so also did the young boy from Alf, as well as Dr. Ruth Westheimer. And Art Star is here.
How you doing, Art Star?
Nerd 101. He says he has a boxed Rainbow Bright Viewmaster.
Ooh,
that's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thought Richard Simmons would be.
I guess he had some kind of problems.
Yeah, because they mentioned that a couple of years ago when he went missing. But David got a couple things.
I just thought this was interesting because we just started watching it last night, and then we found it today. But it's like the show's surprisingly good. I was like, okay, yeah, we can watch this.
And Peter Cullen does the voice of one of the villains.
Yeah. What's his name? Murky. And it really comes out because Murky has an alter ego that he has trapped in a bottle that escaped, and he's got a deeper voice. And it's like, yeah, that's definitely Peter Cullen. I had also found VHS copy of Speed Racer the movie.
We found that at Goodwill.
Yeah, we found this at Goodwill for like $1. I'll take it. I'll take it. Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. The original Speed Racer, that is. Although the live action Speed Racer movie, I don't think it's that bad. Some people are like, oh, that sucks. It's not that bad. And the most important part of the movie is listening to the speech from the guy that owns the company in the middle of the film. You ever wanted to hear truth on film? That guy tells the truth about how industry and government works. And it's like, holy crap, we just went in a whole different direction. But yeah, I'll take a VHS copy of that. And this is your memory unlocked moment. Memory unlocked moment. Are you ready? Are you ready?
Let me move that out the way.
Who remembers the Fisher-Price wooden puzzles? This is wood with the little knobs that you can pull out, and you remove the puzzle piece, and you can look inside the house. I like how when you pull out, did you notice this is the chimney stack, right? So on the top of the chimney stack, a little bird nest. See? And so you open it up and you can see through the window. There's a bed frame and a little mirror, and they are consistent because there's the mirror and the bed. And there's a little boy in there getting out of the shower. Big time memory unlocked with this. I saw this and I was like, oh crap, I actually had this puzzle. I remember that. There's the attic. There's the kid's bedroom, right? Above the garage, the little storage unit. I like the tree. You take the tree out and it's fall. You see all the little animals up in the tree and open the door. There's the kids running downstairs. There's dad at the table. Yeah, memory unlocked, everybody. Uh-oh. There's the back door open in the school bus. Car in the garage. And the dog, well, we can't look inside the dog, so we'll just put him to bed. Who had these? Do you remember these puzzles?
Mm-hmm. How
Anybody?
often are there estate sales around you? In my area, there are none. And Robert want to know how they work. So it pops up around here every so often. Robert, the way estate sales work is usually a person passed away or a person is moving and they just want to sell everything and they leave it in the house. And you come in the house and you go through and they'll have a price on everything, and if they don't want something sold, they usually put it in a room and tape the door and say do not enter.
Yeah.
But really they just open up the house, leave everything in place. It's like a yard sale, but it's in the house.
In the house.
And then they just sell it like that, and it's called an estate sale. The one that we went to today, the guy did it himself.
Yes.
And that man wanted $1 for everything.
How much is this? How much
$1.
is that?
Everything you had, $1.
Because
$1.
the problem with estate sales in the modern era is now there's a lot of services that will do it for you, and they price the crap out of it. And you go in there and you look around and you're like, oh, screw this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not paying this much. These would have been like $5, $8, $10 a piece.
Yeah, they would have.
At an estate sale.
We went to one estate sale where it was ran by professionals, and they didn't want to come back the next day. So we had a box full of stuff, and we knew it was going to be like outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
And we said, well, we'll go up there because nothing was priced. And was like, we'll go up there, ask how much it costs, and then just put back what we don't want.
Yeah.
Man, that lady looked at that box. We don't want to be here tomorrow. $20. Like, what?
Yeah.
It was like, we
really
don't want to be here tomorrow.
It was a bunch of old, like, vintage, like little children's record albums. And
it was a flag in there.
There was some, like a Weeble's house and all sorts of odds and ends in like this big box. And she was like, she just threw a price on it.
Yeah. He always reminded me of the actor that played the greatest American hero. Do you guys collect movie posters or board games?
Says nerd.
We do have some movie posters, not really board games like we could collect that.
Yeah, because they're hard to display. They're hard to put up. And Severus says the wood puzzles are awesome. I had quite a few. Yeah, that was a big thing in the 60s and 70s. Those wooden puzzles, especially the ones from Fisher-Price.
Yeah.
William hadn't seen it for years.
Yeah, they don't make them like that anymore.
They don't. That to me, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Western had those at the dentist's office. You know what else you had at the dentist's office? Highlights magazine. That's right.
Before my time.
Highlights magazines.
That's why I love your channel. It's a real trip down memory lane.
Who remembers Highlights?
Yes, we bought a bunch of Highlight magazines. No, you don't get invited to an estate
It's like
sale.
a garage sale. You got to find a sign or an ad.
Yeah. They usually post up a sign on the side of the road, estate sale. You know how they do with yard sales.
Yeah.
Because it's the same as a yard sale, except for a yard sale, they bring the stuff out the house. Estate sale, they leave it in the house. It stays in there. And then you just walk through the house.
Yeah.
And you pick out what you want. You know, they price it or whatever. But no, it's not an invitation thing. It's like follow the sign. And there you go.
Gilgamesh doesn't have luck at estate sales. Mostly you don't. Not anymore. It's not like it used to be. And Patrick is here.
Hey, Patrick, how are you? But we were saying something before I interrupted you.
Highlights magazines.
Yes, we bought a few some years
Star
back.
remembers them.
Some years back, and I bought a huge lot on Facebook Marketplace. But those are fun. We got some old ones that went all the way back to the 50s.
Well, yeah, because that magazine actually started in the 1940s. And mostly you would find them, for those of you who are too young to remember, because I don't know if they still do this. Yeah, that's right. Reston says Goofus and Gallant. That's right. The one boy was always did something the right way. And Goofus and Gallant was a cartoon strip in the comic, an ongoing cartoon strip that would show you the difference. Okay, Goofus is going to do this wrong and Gallant is going to do it right, and it's
Yeah.
usually something with a moral or ethical
Yeah.
thing, like picking up your dishes after you finish eating instead of just running from the table and leaving everything, or
Yeah.
things like that. um, but you would often see them in pediatricians offices, dental offices, places like that, anywhere where kids might be sitting around. And of course you could order them to your home, which William says he had a subscription to Highlights and Zoo Books. I remember Zoo Books
Mm-hmm.
and
I
World
think
Book
the same company did that.
and World Book magazine for kids
Mm-hmm.
was a big one. And John is there.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yeah,
late.
we talked about that
That's right.
earlier,
Yeah,
John.
we brought that up
We
earlier.
we brought it up. You know,
Looks like he's going to be okay
yeah, from what we
from what
saw
we've
before
seen.
we came on, not as many. Yeah, yeah, yard sales. I don't know. They pop up around here often in the summer months, but it's usually like clothes and baby furniture.
Yeah, Munin says, despite being harder to find deals nowadays, you both do quite well at finding great stuff. We try. It's not as easy as it once was. I remember back in the day doing, especially in the 90s, I used to go to tons of yard sales in the Boston area, and you just score after score after score. But
Yeah,
now everybody's an expert,
yeah,
and
because they got.
they all get on their phone and they look up the most expensive example on eBay, and then that's how they want to price it. And that's how that works. I mean, for those of you who aren't familiar, because we were talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll grab a couple of highlights here real quick.
He gonna grab some highlight magazines to show y'all.
Yeah.
But yeah, um, you can sometimes find yard sales and estate sales on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes people will post them up, letting you know that they're gonna have something this weekend. So you
Hold that for
can
a second.
you can look on Facebook Marketplace, but usually um we just pass the sign. They start putting it out like on Thursdays or Fridays. They start putting the signs out on the side of the road, and then I'll always see it and make a note so we can go back and check it out. And it's usually Friday, Saturday, Sundays. Sometimes real heavy on Saturdays or something like that. But it's always cool. I never had highlight magazines, but I did have
Mad
Mad
and
and
cracked.
Crack.
Oh no. Well, this is what is March? Yeah, March 1973 highlights, and this is essentially what it would look like, and they're still around.
Yeah, but it's more colorful
Yeah, it's
now.
more
There's a
colorful.
picture on the front.
And so you would see this, including children's activities, monthly book for children, fun with a purpose. And they're not kidding. And it'd be a bunch of stories in here. This is what they were just talking about, the Goofus and Gallant. For example, you see right
Hold
here,
on, let me move that design out the way. That caption.
like right here, here's Goofus. He spilled his drink and he's like, Mother, come and clean this up. And then Gallant, on the other hand, on the opposite, because they're twins, says, no, Gallant is going to clean it up himself. He spilled it, he's going to fix it. Goofus is cleaning his room, he sweeps all the dust under the bed, and Gallant cleans up his room and he puts it in the dustpan where it belongs. And
Hmm.
they show you that contrast. But it has like poems and stories
Yeah,
and activities. Let me just see here. See, here's a short story.
it's good for homeschooling. If you do
Yeah.
homeschooling, it's good for that. Or just like these are activities.
Yeah, here's some activities, suggestions. And I used to read these. I didn't have a subscription, but I used to read these in the office.
Yeah, I did
Here's one,
too. That's the only place I ever seen them.
find all the birds in the image, or whatever, hidden images. And oh yeah, the who what was their name? The bear family. I forget what they called them.
Uh-oh.
I mean, these were just really cool. And I know for a lot of people, this might be, oh, the Timber Toes. This might be really nostalgic for a lot of people, even just seeing these.
Oh, he. Machine Man said turn back to the uh Goofus and Gambit. He wanted to see what was on the page opposite.
Gallant, Goofus and Gallant.
Yeah, Robert. They usually sometimes in grocery stores and laundromats they post up in our grocery stores now they don't post nothing. It's nowhere around here where you have like the community board. That I think those
Yeah.
days are long gone. That used to be a thing. Yeah, this he was talking about. Is this a potato gun? Oh wait, over here.
Life as an astronomer.
Oh, that's a telescope.
Yeah.
It's not a potato gun. It's a telescope. Are they telling you how to build one?
What does it say?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's something for an eclipse.
Oh, so you can
Eclipse
look at the
observation.
eclipse.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember I read those when I was a kid. I miss being an 80s kid so
Yeah, I
much.
bet.
Says Anthony. Hello, Anthony. But yeah, those were fun. The only time I ever saw a highlight magazine was at the doctor's office. I thought that's the only place you can get one. Here in the UK, I watch Leisure Vintage Toy Shop on YouTube. Do you follow them? No, I never heard of them. That's Big Ben. I never heard of them
Oh,
before.
here's one that's relevant for the group.
Okay.
Goofus and Gallant. This is in the February 1973, right? Goofus reads many comic books at the drugstore. Gallant doesn't handle anything until he's paid for it.
Mm.
Oh, you can't just sit there and read them.
I do. I used to the gossip magazines. I would stand in line. I used to love it when the line was long
Oh
because you
no.
can read almost the whole thing. Then you wouldn't have to buy it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I remember highlights. My childhood dentist had them
Yeah.
along with Archie mini comic books. And strangely enough, he was the first person I knew that actually had DC superheroes encyclopedia books.
Said John. Yeah, I remember the little books
Uh-huh.
from Archie. Used to see those on at the magazine rack at the supermarket checkout.
Something else I got today. I
Uh-oh.
was shocked to see this. I
Yeah.
had to get it. We talked about this. The new
I showed those like a month ago.
the new Toxic Crusader from Trick or Treat Studios. It was at Walmart, and it comes. This is of course Toxic, and it comes with Dr. Kilimoff.
Well,
Well,
it has Dr.
yeah,
Kilimoff.
Dr. Kilimoff is in this
And there's a
run.
file card.
Everybody's doing a file card
The
now.
little comic strip and everything.
Yeah,
I like the card. And it's thick.
Yeah, this is
actually,
a
it's a pretty
thick
thick card.
And
And
it's a nice window box.
yeah, it's shaped like a barrel.
Yeah. So I saw this and I was like, oh, there go that Toxic Crusader. And because
Yeah.
I really want to collect this, but the original is just way too expensive.
Yeah. This is and I was surprised that Trick or Treat Studio had anything mainstream going to someplace like Walmart.
Tomorrow I'm going to KB Toys to get He-Man stuff and G.I. Joe toys as well.
Oh,
Okay,
good
cool.
luck, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a TARDIS.
Yeah. Is the King Kong?
Is that King Kong behind you?
No, you ain't got no King Kong.
Yeah, I do. It's right
Oh,
there.
yeah?
Right there.
Oh yeah. Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah, that's King Kong. That's an AJ Renzi blow mold plastic bank.
All music fan didn't know KB Toys still existed.
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm. How much are those new? $24. I probably, if I had waited, I wouldn't have found it. But probably if you wait, it might go on clearance.
This is AJ Renzi blow mold plastic bank, and they did these in a few different colors. This is the standard one. Tough to find with the plug still intact because it's not an insert plug. You have to cut it out.
Ooh.
They're usually, when you ever find a AJ Renzi bank, usually that's either sliced out or the hole's been torn open.
Mm-hmm.
And they made stuff like this in like 60s, 70s, and 80s. They did the Planet of the Apes. They famously did, you might recognize it better, the bust of Hulk, Spider-Man, and the Thing. That's AJ Renzi.
Okay.
And they also modified those to make Trick or Treat buckets. those particular banks because they were busts.
You just cut
They
the
cut
head
the
out.
top of the head off and they
Oh.
attached a strap because AJ Renzi also made a lot of blow mold Halloween buckets.
Hmm.
In particular, the skull is really famous
Yeah.
because it's in like 20 different colors.
Hmm.
There,
I've seen those before.
yeah, and the more elaborate the coloring on it, the more expensive they are.
Mm.
They can get really expensive. The AJ Renzi skull buckets. The pumpkin buckets not so much. And they did other stuff like I've got an AJ Renzi Smurf bank too. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Right here. See.
Baby Smurf.
Yeah, somebody Smurf. And he's never been opened either, which
Are we
is
still on?
which is why he still has change in there that I'll never be able to get out.
You're not gonna cut it open?
No, I don't want to cut that open.
Oh.
So if anyone ever ends up with that, he'll get some free change.
That person will cut it open.
Oh no. Yeah, they need the change real bad. Yeah, a bunch of our numbers just dropped off. I wonder what happened. If there was a connectivity problem.
I don't know. With the line like Toxic Crusader, it's hard to gauge whether they will sell at retail or go to clearance, especially when there's so many other more popular lines on the shelf. Yeah.
Because I know all of the Ninja Turtle stuff at the Walmart is just hanging out.
Yeah,
just
they're still
dust.
there. And those aren't moving at all.
No. And
So-
they weren't moving any of the Super 7 stuff.
Mm-mm.
It just sat and sat and sat. It's too expensive. And then what else was hanging around a lot? The wrestling figures really aren't moving anymore.
Mm-mm. And you don't even see the Masters of the Universe, McFarlane, or the DC Super Friends and stuff. No McFarlane at all at our Walmart. No more Masters of the Universe. None of that stuff is there anymore. All of that's gone. It's got a lot of wrestler and a ton of Ninja Turtles and Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park moves though.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Jurassic Park does sell.
I was trying to say that. Oh yeah, I like the reissuing.
Playmates is reissuing everything.
Yeah, because the original is so expensive again. You know, it's just so expensive. So it give you an opportunity to get it. I guess.
John says all he ever found for his old collection was a Felix the Cat cookie jar. That's all right though. Did you ever find one of those Felix the Cat clocks and the tail goes back and forth and its eyes look back and forth as the tail moves?
Yeah.
Those were popular for a while.
I've seen those. And you know who else? Hey Tommy, how are you?
Tommy Fletcher is here.
Who else is doing some reissue? Timex with the watches. You showed me the watches. Timex
is remaking a bunch of their old like 80s designs of novelty watches like Peanuts and stuff like that, Snoopy watches and things.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a throwback. Everybody's getting on the nostalgia bandwagon these days. But that ought to tell you something though.
Yeah.
That ought to tell you something about society's longing for better times.
Yeah. Not just the new Ninja Turtles and Super 7, Pokemon is not selling like before. Why is wrestling even still on the shelf? They literally sit on the shelf for years. I don't know about years, but yeah.
The only ones that sell are the ones where they it's again classic wrestlers. You know, if they put out a Randy Savage or something, people will gravitate to it. But all these newer wrestlers, they just don't seem to move.
Yeah.
People aren't interested.
Robert hasn't bought anything in a long time, but he might save up for something nice and pricey.
And John doesn't know why Target doesn't have any Motu action figures. We haven't been to Target in a long time. Walmart though has, after their last round of clearance, they haven't put anything else new up. So we're not sure what's going on with Walmart and their Masters of the Universe. So it remains to be seen. There will be more waves, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As they continue to crank that stuff out. But yeah, time will tell.
Yeah.
because Mattel doesn't show any sign of stopping with all of
No.
their various types and variants of Masters of the Universe figures. What All Music fan? Did you have a chance to find Prince Adam and Cringer 2-pack for the cartoon collection from Origins?
Yeah. I got it from Big Bad Toy Store. It's not in yet, but I did get the Night Stalker. That is in. I was kind of disappointed because I was expecting it to be like the Stridor, because you remember Stridor came in the window box with the flap at the top.
Yeah,
So I thought the Night Stalker would have been the same, so you kind of put them together, but it's just in a all enclosed box.
yeah. It's got some decent art on it, and they
Yeah,
ship
they got some really
and they
nice
sent it.
artwork.
They sent it in the shipper.
Yeah.
They sent it in the shipper instead of reboxing it.
Yeah, so I was kind of disappointed about that because I was hoping that it would be in a window box so I can set it beside the um the Stridor, but I meant Snake Eyes.
He's interested in the
Oh yeah, the 3 0
yeah the
stuff.
3-0 series.
Mm-hmm.
And then John says Mego action figures will make a comeback. Will they? Well, they're back now. The new Mego, although they don't like being called that.
Yeah,
They don't like the terminology "NU new Mego," but it kind of is what it is.
That is true. Um,
Came Unit says the
came
modern
in.
stuff's so bad that's why everybody. There's
Well,
nothing new to offer.
not just that. I think people are longing for a time when things wasn't so bad. It's like every turn is something out there that just ruins it for you. Every TV show, commercial, movie, uh, song that's played on the radio, schools, your kid, the books, the magazines, everything is just like, oh, how did we get to this point? But then people look back at their childhood when things were simpler, you know, people just, things were nice and things were good. And that's what they desire. They don't want all of this trash that we got right now. So I think so. That's why I gravitate to the nostalgia.
Yeah,
It's just something I remember as a kid, and not saying that I had this great perfect childhood, but it was just better than now. Not saying life is bad now, but when you look at like the social aspect, everything seems just horrible. Did go to Ross this week and found Squeeze. Oh, Spikor and Snake Men Infiltrator. Really?
yeah. Blue Splash said they paid $3.99 a piece.
Really?
Yeah, it's down that low.
Glad you got the 2-pack. Yes, the packing is different, I think, because it's shipped from Mattel Creations instead of retail, just my guess. Great artwork. Yeah, I was wondering if that was the case or I don't know. But
She wanted it in a window box.
well, I wanted it in a window box because like
It would match.
it would match.
Yeah.
And then when you put it on the shelf together, it would just look better. But I don't know.
Robert wants to know why they don't like being called. Well, they don't like being called New Mego.
Hey Jesse.
And I'm not sure what the problem is. I'm not sure why they have an issue with that. I'd have to go to the Mego ambassador page and ask, and they'd probably burn me at the stake if I did, because they get real touchy there. Remember, I've been attacked by administrators from that group before, and it's just not worth the trouble. Gilgamesh says we're in the fourth turning. Things go in cycles, even societies.
Hakuna Matata. Yeah.
Woosa. Woosa. Who knows where that's from?
Funny thing is that the more toys now that
me too.
I love more toys. Yeah, yeah.
I have more toys now than I did when I was a kid, and I appreciate them better too, I think.
Well, now you can afford them. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
not so much.
It depends. It depends on what you're getting.
You're able to buy it when
I'm able to figure it out.
Yeah, when you were a kid, you were at your parents' mercy.
Yeah.
But now you can go out and get it yourself.
And in my case, there was none. There was no mercy.
We didn't have toys as a kid. I mean, we had some, but not a lot.
Because I talk about that a lot of my loose GI Joes are from my childhood. The 3 3/4 inch. I got all those myself. I got all of those myself. Nobody gave any of those to me. So that was by hook or by crook, collecting bottles and cans. And for Massachusetts had the bottle redemption, and I had jobs, and so I got all of that on my own. Nobody helped me. There was no birthday or Christmas. But yeah, you're at your parents' mercy. Some parents, some kids fared well better than others. They got every. It seems like there was always that kid that got everything, but that's okay.
Ross and Ollie's is my go-to place. I'm
Hmm.
sick of spending a lot of money. Feels good to get a taste of those 90 styles prices,
I don't
says
blame you,
David.
David.
Land of the Lost. That's not from Land of the Lost.
What's from Land of the
What
Lost?
you just said. You said, who knows where that's from?
Oh, Wusa.
Yeah.
Who missed it? Nobody
That's
got
from
that.
Bad Boys.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't even see Bad Boys.
And she knows.
Yeah, that's from Bad Boys. The first one, right, or the second? I don't know. I didn't see it, but I know people were saying it, and I've seen clips of it. I saw they're selling Bitcoin trading cards.
Oh wow.
Wow.
It says rested. Really? I haven't
How
seen. I
that work?
haven't seen that.
Hey Johnny, how you doing?
Uh huh. We'll catch the replay. Funko Witch. Okay.
Ah, with them, and they were able to get a shared exclusive for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. What Johnny's explaining there was he was comparing, contrasting why it is that one group of the Funko Wicked Witches from the SDCC that we just showed,
Mm-hmm.
why is this one like 80, $100 or whatever, and why is this one like $25, $30?
Mm-hmm.
It's the sticker. Because if you have a true SDCC sticker,
Mm-hmm.
there's a higher premium on it, as opposed to the shared exclusive sticker, which still says basically the same things, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they call Funko collectors sticker chasers. And he was like, well, I just want the Wicked Witch Pop. I don't care about the sticker. So, of course, he got the cheaper one. And he was wondering if you tracked one down online.
No, because I thought it was coming out next week or something.
Well, people are pre-selling them already.
Oh, I ain't doing all that. I think it's gonna be at Target or something. And I'm gonna break the rule and go to Target. No, somebody gonna be at Target. I think it's either the Wicked Witch or
I don't remember.
or the Smurf, Papa Smurf. But no, I'm gonna buy it online when it comes out and try to get it for regular price. If I can, I just won't have it because I'm not. And that's something I was looking because David didn't show where these are gonna be, so I
Yeah.
looked it up. And that Star Wars figure, that blue guy, people on eBay want $500 for the glitter one, and I'm like, I thought those days were over.
Is it General Thrawn or Admiral Thrawn or whoever the
Yeah,
hell it is?
whoever it is, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And like some of the other ones,
That
they're going
sticker.
for like $50. That waitress with the skates is going for like $100 to $200.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought those days of Funko was over. Swap toys a lot as a
Yeah, I
kid.
used to swap toys. That's what they say. If I tried that, the kid's mother would show up at our apartment and demand I give it back.
Oh wow.
That's actually happened to me.
Oh wow. I've seen those trading cards at games. What are they? I mean, it's just a card.
I don't think I've seen that.
Do they have any value? Did you ever
I
trade
don't
some
know.
of your old
I
stuff?
think I just answered that.
Oh yeah, we just talked
Yeah,
about that.
I think I just answered that. And John says it sounded like Chaka from his Pukuni language. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Chaka, the little
Hey Thomas.
the gross little monkey boy.
Mm.
You never saw Land of the Lost.
Mm-mm.
It was the only Sid and Marty Krofft drama. It was pretty good. It lasted 3 seasons, but they screwed themselves because they replaced Dad.
Weren't we watching that?
No.
Like the newer one, and they had the black girl, and they were no, that was Lost in Space.
Yeah, Lost in Space.
Okay.
Where they ruined that, bringing it back.
I don't like Funko, but that Godzilla looked good.
Yeah,
that Godzilla
the
did
colors
look
on it pop. It does. And All Music Fan says Evil Bay is still there. Of course. Of course. And there's Hank joining us here this evening.
Hank, how you doing?
He's late to the party. You didn't see Lucky with her little. Is it? I don't even know if these things have a gender
I don't know
on
either.
the show. because there's Rainbow Bright. We just started watching the Rainbow Bright yesterday actually, and she found these at an estate sale.
Mm-hmm.
But the show is actually surprisingly funny. It's pretty good. I was like, you see something like that, you're like, Rainbow Bright. Ugh. It's pretty funny,
It is.
and the characters make sense because there's seven of them. Eight with Rainbow Bright makes eight, but there's seven other characters, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense because that's the seven basic colors of the rainbow, and then Rainbow Bright, who is the focal point for their energy as you follow the story along. And there's two boys. Who's it? Red Butler.
Red
Red
Butler and
Butler
then
is
the blue boy.
Red Butler is funny.
Yeah.
He's got an attitude, but
Didn't they do a Land of the Lost movie?
yes, they did.
Mm.
A comedy, a parody of the original show starring Will Ferrell. It was terrible.
Mm.
It was terrible.
Machine Man kind of
He
liked
kind of
it.
liked it. That's okay. If you liked it, you liked it. I didn't think it was good. And James says, "Do you remember the Mon Chi Chi? Yeah, Mon Chi Chi, Mon Chi Chi. Oh, what you mean to me." The commercial from the 70s and 80s,
No.
and they used to sell them in the drugstores in the in the in a like a countertop display, right? And they were the little monkeys, a girl
Mhm.
and a boy, and they'd have like a banana in one hand and they'd have their thumb up, and they had a hole in their mouth, and you could stick their thumb in their mouth or stick the banana in their mouth. You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
They were
No.
real big in the early 80s.
No, I don't remember that.
She doesn't remember Mon Chi Chi. Just go further over there.
David got back into Transformers again after selling my collection a couple of years
Oh,
ago. Love to get a few pieces back. Yeah, we're still watching that. And the thing that gets me, we go back and we watch these old cartoons,
yes,
and it really makes you want those toys.
that's true.
Because I don't think I would have got as much of the toys as I have now
Mhm.
if I didn't watch the cartoon or read the comics, because I read some comics. That's how I got into Swamp Thing. That's how I got into Man Thing. The Shadow, I just liked how the Shadow looked, and we watched the Shadow, the what,
The
1930s or
40s.
40s Shadow
No, it was
movies.
earlier than that. It might have been 30s.
Yeah,
But
they're pretty dumb and
he's in
doofy.
costume for like 20 seconds in the whole movie.
You don't even know that, because I remember the first Shadow movie we watched,
Uh-huh.
and I'm waiting for the Shadow to come in, and he's there all the time because they show like the Shadow in costume on the cover.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That's
the
the big
movie
draw.
poster. So you're looking for this figure to show up, and then you're like, oh, that's the Shadow. No, it's the guy. He running around the whole time, and you're like,
Although the 90s movie is
mm-hmm.
not bad. The 90s recreation of it is not bad. Robert says make sure the cats don't snag on Rainbow Bright.
No, because she's gonna be down in the basement, and they don't come down here.
No, only Miss Kitty comes down here. John says Sideshow had a Motu He-Man figure with his magical sword riding on Battle Cat for $1,004. Ugh.
Really, that's new.
Uh-huh.
I
I don't show statues so much anymore. I got away from that.
haven't been on the Sideshow webpage in over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't.
Some of the earlier, like the 70s Mon Chi Chis, because Gilgamesh is talking about it again. He said he forgot about them. The earlier ones, or especially the Japanese ones, they can go for quite a bit. They can get expensive. All Music says, do you have a full vintage G.I. Joe collection mint on card? I forgot. I have to go back and watch your videos on that. No, I do not. I used to have all the American ones, not foreign variants and weird stuff, but I did once upon a time. That was part of the collection that was stolen. I have just only what's on the rack here behind her for carded ones right now. And Munin says STCC around the corner. Yeah, it's in like 3 weeks. Anything you guys interested in? For me, just hoping to hear the SH Figure Arts Jujutsu Kaisen line isn't canceled. Not really. I'm not really excited about anything from there.
Yeah, we talked
Sea
about
Dog.
that when we first started. We mentioned that
Yeah,
that attempt on his
someone
life.
took a crack at him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't go into full conversation about it because we don't want that on the, we don't want to talk about that on this channel. We
Yeah,
try to keep all of that separate because everybody got their thoughts and their feelings
Yeah.
about both.
we don't want people to get
And
wrapped up in
yeah,
politics and get upset.
yeah. I
know.
mean, your feelings, your thoughts, or your feelings, your thoughts. We try to keep the channel based on what we all know and love, which is nostalgia, toys, music, movies, TV shows, anything nostalgic, not politics. But yeah, we did talk about that. We did mention it when we started.
Yeah,
Um,
it sounds like, prayers for him. It sounds like he'll
yeah.
be all right. It's, it was not successful.
hmm Yes, the Will Ferrell Land of the Lost movie was terrible. It pissed me off.
Says Hank. I didn't care for it because it was a drama.
Oh, you're going to a
Oh,
drive-in,
wow.
Inside Out, and Despicable Me
Oh, you're
4.
going to double feature.
Yeah, I haven't been
Thomas.
to a drive-in in a long time. I went twice. I
I have.
saw Purple Rain,
Oh, no.
and I don't know what the other movie was, but I went twice.
And I have never been to a drive-in.
Oh yeah.
No.
Do you have Ninja Force Zarte?
No, the only Ninja Force figure I have is Storm Shadow. I've only got one Ninja Force figure. That's the one on the pink card. I only have Zarte. I only have Storm Shadow.
All Music is Sario collection.
Yeah, I did a video on it like some years ago because
Yeah.
it comes up from time to time. I had a massive collection. My ex ripped it off basically, but I had ton because I most of it I had acquired in the early '90s when the stuff didn't cost anything.
Yeah.
When you could get mint on the card GI Joe figures for like some of them were still retail, or older ones $15. Nobody cared. And now it's insane. The prices are freaking insane. How much the demand has gone up for all of it. And so I'm like, things I could probably never replace now. Like, when am I ever going to get a complete carded line of LJN Thundercats again? It's just not in the cards because now people want insane money for it.
I mainly like 1/6 scale, but a lot of those figures are pricey, Hot Toys. Although I like some third party stuff because it's cheaper. Yeah, I agree. I got one off brand 1/6 scale figure. It's like a bootleg or whatever, or knockoff,
The
whatever they want to
Joaquin,
call.
the Joker,
Yeah, the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Because Hot Toys surprisingly didn't make that, and I was shocked that they didn't make it. So I really wanted it, and we were at a toy show, and somebody had it, and I got it. So maybe they'll make it on the next go round. I don't know.
And Reston says we collect nostalgia, but I think we're also preservationists too, if it makes sense. Sure,
Yeah.
because it's history.
Yeah.
It really is, and there's certain things about it that it historically it's important, and that's why even if something has like a small price tag on it, I like that. As long as it's not a huge honking price tag, it's taking up half the package, or it's been written all over. If it's just a normal price tag, that's a piece of the history, and that's also why we like it packaged as well, because this is how it was originally presented, and the artwork on a lot of this stuff really pops.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to draw your eye. You went to the toy store. How can we make this really interesting for this kid or whoever that's looking at this? And the art and the packaging design meant a lot. It meant a lot. It doesn't seem to anymore.
Some of the third party stuff is actually pretty cool. Some is just bad. You know what? I was surprised going to the shows. You're seeing a lot more independent artists out there. Well, not artists, meaning
IPs.
drawings. Yeah, IPs with their
The
action figures. That's what I mean.
There was a lot of them at the Joe Fest. There was a lot. We showcased a couple of them, but there was a ton of them at the Joe Fest. And then Super 7, which I don't think quite counts anymore because they've gotten pretty big. Oh, John.
No, John, I'll be mad too. And all I came home with was a pack of old Garbage Pail Kids. I would be mad at you too. I got that Raggedy and the tea set though. I got it at a show.
Set?
Yeah, that's with the plates and the cups.
No. You got the dinnerware set.
Oh, the dinnerware.
It's the plate, the bowl, and the cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's talking about the tea set.
Oh, hey, Joseph.
No, Joseph, last time I saw you comment on Mondo Motu, you said you weren't going to collect. Just wondering if you changed your mind or thought about cherry picking. Thoughts on this 15-inch Scare Glow? Yeah, I'm not going to do it. And they've just had a problem with a round of their X-Men 97 figures. Are you in here tonight? Someone had one, their arm broke at the elbow, taking it out of the package.
Yeah, his broke halfway.
Mine broke clean across the middle. The 15-inch Scare Glow, it looks nice, but for those price points, I just don't want to take the risk anymore because they're expensive. That stuff is real expensive.
Yeah. I hope so. Well, I mean, I got one now.
We haven't seen it, and the second movie might suck. So,
well, you don't know because they're gonna make an outfit because you always got to make the outfit. So I don't know. I'm gonna look though.
You don't want him in a dirty T-shirt?
If that's what he wore in the movie.
He did in the first one.
Yeah, but they gave him that raid outfit.
Thomas says, any chance you have Migos Our Gangs figures or playset? I'm debating on getting the boat
and boxcar.
I do have a couple. Where the hell are they?
But are they Migo though?
Yeah, Migo made Our Gang.
Okay, I know you got them.
Little
I just didn't know what they were.
But not all Migo vintage are expensive, and the Little Rascals is a good example of that, or Our Gang is a good example of that. Those don't cost a lot, just like the Waltons don't cost much.
Who want the Waltons?
Yeah, well, the Wizard of Oz, surprisingly, except for the Munchkins, because those are pretty rare, but the regular Wizard of Oz figures don't sell for a lot. It's usually just like the superhero stuff or Planet of the Apes that's gone way up there now. But
the Flash Gordon.
Yeah, the Flash Gordon. Well, those are 9-inch.
Oh.
They're out of scale with the regular Migos.
Oh.
And they only did the 3 figures?
No, they did like 4 because I got.
You don't have any.
I got 4.
What's that?
That's the Mattel.
That's Mattel.
Oh well, I got something.
Those aren't 9 inches tall.
I know that's why I didn't know what you was talking about.
Yeah, the ones that are like this.
Yeah, that one.
What is wrong with you?
I didn't know. I know I had something.
Tommy says, I think it's OCD for me, but collecting is a good way to channel it, I guess.
I think so because, when you got
something to focus on.
Yeah. And it's something that you can focus on by yourself because people with OCD, they get to be sticklers and you can't work with them and you can't work around them. And I'm not saying it to pick on you because I'm the same way. So at least if you got the toys, you can organize them the way you want. You can dust it as many times as you want. You can move it here. You can move it there. And then that helps get that out of you.
Yeah. Just to show, and I'll read that real quick. Munin says, speaking of independent toy makers, from what I saw in the video, they seem to make the figures packaging in all similar styles to NECA.
Yeah, you're right about that.
There is a lot of similarity to the packaging there.
Okay.
But just to show what he was talking about, here's a couple of pieces. That's the rowboat from 1975, I think. Mego did these, and they only made 6 characters from the shorts. And in the 70s, the shorts were adapted for television. And so it was like a TV show. To us, it was a TV show, not movie shorts. And that's how we knew it. This is how we knew it. They made 6 figures, a car, a boat, and the clubhouse. But they're not that expensive. And here's another one. I've got the, and I don't know why they did it this way, because this is the rowboat. But do you see not the rowboat. This is the boxcar. Do you see a boxcar?
Okay, at the very, very, very top.
No, that is.
Oh, the house.
The play, and they put the playhouse, and they put it on the back too, the advertising, and then the picture of the boxcar is actually like on the bottom and on the side. And I'm like, shouldn't you have put it like here? Somebody was sleeping at the wheel at Mego Productions because they put the image in the wrong damn place.
Yeah, Mondo definitely has needs to tighten up on their QC.
They're
But
not
now Funko got it, so they don't care.
Funko owns it, and that's when it started. Because I was doing reviews of those figures from the very first one, from the first release of the He-Man,
Hmm.
and I liked them. I thought, I was like, hey, these aren't bad, But now it's, so many problems in a row with defects on the figures, and I was done. I was like, no more.
Oh yeah, I don't know, Robert. We'll see. Shoot, they'll probably definitely do Harley Quinn for sure, but
Oh God, and
I
it'll be
don't know.
expensive as hell because
Yeah.
they'll have to do the likeness of somebody who was already expensive because it's
Mm-mm.
Lady Gaga. I don't know her real name.
Catherine or something like that. No, I haven't seen that. Came
Yeah,
in.
that's the Sabretooth from the original X-Men film though.
Mm.
So that's who he's supposed to look like. And yeah, that so he looks bad, but that's what he's supposed to look like. That it's a copy. They were gonna use, or they wanted to use, the Juggernaut from the original X-Men movies as well, but the actor refused to do it. You
Because
remember
he knew.
the one that looked, ridiculous with the big lead helmet and the big and the rubber muscle, and
Mm-hmm.
he was like, "No, I don't want to do that again." So they went with something else with Juggernaut. So, but yeah, that's the really old Sabretooth from the early films. John says, LPH, in my defense, I only had $50 on me just then, and the Garbage Pail Kids were 99 cents each, and there was 30 in the box. Okay. It's all right.
Mm-mm.
It's all right.
Robert's going to see.
It'll still be, tell her, this is what you tell her. I'm sure it's still there.
It ain't.
We, why are you going to kibosh it?
Hmm.
See, I'm sure it's still there. We can go look. Robert says he's going to see Deadpool and Wolverine, but I know David's not into Deadpool. That's cool. Everyone has their likes. Yeah, although what I'm hearing now is that it's not going to be like the traditional Deadpools, and that what they're using this is a jumping off point to reset the damage. This film's going to be damage control for the Marvel
Oh
universe,
boy, we'll see.
because they're going to use it as a reset for Marvel. And I'll tell you what I heard if you want to hear it, because it would be a spoiler alert reveal in the film that I think it might be revealed from their after
Uh
credits
huh.
that has leaked. If you want to hear it, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody if they're going to go see it.
Okay. David, my uncle always told me how much they loved their Lone Ranger figures when they were a kid. I've never seen any at the toy shows, but who made those figures so many years ago?
I think it was Gabriel.
Don't you have Lone Ranger
No, I
figures?
don't
Oh,
have
I
any.
thought I
I don't
saw
have them.
something.
Gabriel made the boxed Lone Ranger figures.
Yeah, I thought that too came in, and when I saw it, like, boy, that boy looked heavy.
Yeah, he was. Joseph says, haven't seen all of your collection, but do either of you collect any gross out toys like Mad Balls or Garbage Pail Kids? Well, I got the case of worms, the bad case of worms. I did the showcase on it like the other day. They're actually right here because I have a whole display box full of them. Mattel's a bad case of worms, so bad that they weren't even in the Mattel's Toy Fair catalog that year. But as far as, no, not too much. Not too much as far as gross out toys. I don't have any Mad Balls.
Mm-mm.
I've got Gregory, the vampire bat, also by Mattel. If you've ever seen Gregory, I can grab him real quick.
Don't think I've ever seen the Our Gang Little Rascal, says Tommy.
Yeah, it's cool, and they're not expensive. They're not. Thomas says we're great to watch. We're heading to the drive-in. I'll catch the rerun. Well, thanks for joining
All
us.
right, have a good time at the drive-in.
And Munin says it may be the original Sabretooth, but some things don't translate from animation to live action.
Yeah.
Sabretooth's hair is one of them. Yeah, well, and Hank said he wants to hear it. We'll see if
Okay.
anyone else wants to
Yeah,
hear it,
Gilgamesh wants
because I
to
don't
hear
want to
it.
spoil it. Spoil away, says Gilgamesh. Oh my God. Um,
Hey,
and
Codename.
oh,
Hey,
code
Vero
name New
too.
Viral 2 is here.
He has a channel
Yes,
big, big, big on G.I. Joe, especially comic books and action figures, but
yes.
more comic books, graded comic books.
He has something from the Larry Hama actually featured something on New 2 Vero 2.
And he was here last year when Pixel Dan was here. He was one. I don't think he made it to any video.
Yeah.
Any video time, but he was one of the people that came by.
Yeah, he was in Pixel Dan's entourage when they came here.
Yeah.
This is because who is it? Joseph said he had not seen that before and he doesn't want spoilers.
Okay.
Okay. That's Gregory. Mattel's Gregory the Vampire Bat. 1979. Mattel. And he's one of the earlier incarnations of the fake blood in the chest kind of thing, like what they did with Pulsar.
Yeah.
And Mosquito.
Mosquito.
And this is open. I can show it to you. I can show you the actual toy. I've had this out before. It's a cool toy. It's one of those weird things. I also have Sucker Man from Mattel, which is very similar. And this is Gregory. His blood no longer works, which is common. And he's got the two little holes here so that you can run a string through it and hang him upside down. And he has flapping action. And by flapping action, you do this. That's what it means. And you're supposed to press the button and pump the blood in his chest.
But he has no blood.
He's rare. He's tough to find. Gregory is up there. But that's just a cool throwback from when Mattel made some really bizarre stuff.
Rustin hasn't seen a Marvel movie since Endgame. I've seen quite a few because I saw the Phoenix movie. They
haven't been good.
Yeah, Morbius movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. Because when I was at the daycare center, we used to go to the movies all the time.
Yeah.
Communion wants you to spoil it. Joseph doesn't want you to spoil it because he hasn't seen it before.
Of course,
so don't. Reston wants you to spoil it. I don't care. I love spoilers, says Robert. He don't care.
This is what we'll do.
Okay.
Okay, I have a solution.
Oh no.
And remember, this is the rumors. All right.
Rumor mill.
Spoil it. I don't watch TV. This is John says if I was still there, I wouldn't be in trouble. But since last Tuesday, someone came in and bought it. Oh no! See? So the wife is upset. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't have told her. That's your fault.
Okay.
Learn how to keep your mouth closed.
At least I have something to look at while I'm sleeping on the couch. Oh,
yeah.
Poor John. This is what I'll do. I'm going to put my hand up. Okay. So while my hand is up, I'll tell you what the rumor is. And when I'm done, I'll put it down. Okay. So you can
mute.
You can plug your ears and go la 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 for a second. And when I put my hand down, you'll know it's cool. All right, that's what we'll do.
Oh, wow.
Codename says, tell LPH I got Batman 181 first, Poison Ivy.
Yeah,
Batman 244, early Ra's al Ghul. 222, the Beatles issue.
Ooh.
Inspired me during the last visit to add some Neil Adams covers.
Good.
Okay. And Joseph said that's a little before their time, similar to something like Mad Scientist, which was mid-'80s and also by Mattel, I believe. Yep. And Robert said, yeah, Homecoming and Multiverse were good movies after Endgame. And Joseph says he's got to go anyways. Well, you can catch us on the replay. All right, so here we go. Are you ready?
Yes.
I'm going to put my hand up so you can plug your ears if you can't take it, and I'll tell you the rumor, and then I'll put my hand down, and then you can listen again. And here we go. All right. The rumor is that in the end credits to the Deadpool, and it's been revealed by someone who works on the movie set, apparently, and now they're trying to, I don't know if it's true or not, okay, just to be clear, is that while they're doing their shifting through dimensions or shifting through time or whatever in the movie, Deadpool ends up at the end of Endgame, and he gets the Infinity Gauntlet, and because he gets it, it erases everything Marvel has done from that point forward so they can start over. And that's how they're going to clean up their mess.
That sounds kind of lame.
Well, there you go. And I'm done.
I'll be right back.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
That sounds
So,
kind of lame.
well, yeah, that's what you call the Hail Mary pitch right there. That's the big Hail Mary. Codename says the 66 Batman 181 was the most they spent on a comic. It was worth it. Getting the first appearance of Batman's Rogues Gallery. Yeah, and I just did I just cleaned and pressed the first appearance of Poison Ivy for somebody just recently. It came out really good, actually. It came out really nice. They were happy with it because they've already picked it up. I don't have one myself, but I would have, it's on the radar. I'd like to get a copy of that. I do have a copy of the first appearance of Batgirl, which is what, Detective 359 or something, 349, 359. And that was one that I got. I bought it graded at a show. It was a graded 3.0, and I broke it out and I cleaned and pressed it and I sent it back in and it came back a 5.5. So that one came out really nice too. And of course they invented that was the first appearance of Batgirl because she appeared on the Adam West 66 show already. And so DC, they were like, okay, let's go ahead and crank out a Batgirl now. Same thing that happened with Firestar in Marvel when you had Superman and Spider-Man and his Amazing Friends on NBC, and they had Firestar, but there was no Firestar on Marvel, so they had to hurry up and put her in a comic book. And Tommy says, sounds wacky. It's probably true. It could be. We'll see what happens when it comes out. Gilgamesh says he won't repeat what I said so as not to spoil it for people that didn't listen, but I can see that happening. Yeah. And Nerd says that's like when a movie uses it was all just, well, we'll just leave that there. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. That's why I said, we did all that. Robert says, sounds dumb. I hope that ain't true. Yeah, I mean it's okie doke. It's just an excuse, but it's just an excuse to try to reset the Marvel universe because they know they've screwed it up they've since then. Honestly, I didn't even care for Endgame myself. I thought everything leading up to it was much better. Of course, I did not care for Black Panther, though. I thought that was a poorly done film. Oscars or not, I think it was a poorly done film. I did not care for Black Panther. I didn't care for Iron Man 3. Iron Man 2, it was all right, but Iron Man 3 I didn't care for. They had a couple of take it or leave it films. Spider-Man 3 I didn't think was well done. I didn't like the Venom movies. So you can't please everybody. It's okay. Hank says, is Buck Rogers in the 25th century worth watching? I've never seen Buck Rogers. It's always been on my mind. I like it. The first season is better. The first season is much better, I believe. There's a lot of guest appearances you would not expect. There's people, it seems like, especially in the first season, almost every episode, you're like, I know who that is. Somebody, Jane Seymour is on there. Jack Palance is on there. Frank Gorsham appears. Someone who, if you were watching in the 70s, you would know who they were. Cesar Romero was on there as in guest star roles. Gary Coleman, who gave the worst acting performance I've ever seen. He was terrible. He wasn't a good actor anyways. But it's well acted. Gil Gerard took that show very seriously. But the second season, they made a lot of format changes I didn't care for. And including getting rid of Tweaky's voice. And Mel Brooks did Tweaky's voice. And the charm of Tweaky was his voice was very, very rich and deep. And they gave him a wimpy sissy voice in the second season. And because Mel blank was gone for whatever reason halfway through the season, and then suddenly he's got Mel Blanc's voice again, and it's like, okay, now they fixed Tweaky suddenly, and they introduce Hawk in the second season, and Hawk becomes his sidekick instead of Tweaky, and Hawk's a good actor, and he really pulls off the character, even though the character looks stupid because he's got feathers instead of hair. But he's a really good actor. So yeah, I think it's worth taking a look at. Hank says he wasn't even alive in the 70s, but he knows all the great spots you mentioned from the Buck Rogers series. Yeah, that was a good show. It was a really good show. John has a question for LPH. What do you all have for dinner tonight? My wife just threw a pack of Pop-Tarts, a can of Spam, and a fruit roll up at me. Oh, no. No, we... Actually, she's got she had a bean pot going for me. She had a rice and bean mix that she had made for me. Yeah, Munin talking about what I said. I'll just leave that there because I don't want to get into it too much for people who didn't want to hear a spoiler. And Gilgamesh says for them, only about a third of the Marvel movies have been good the entire time. Yeah, I mean, you know, Iron Man 1 was really well done. I liked the beginning. I liked the first film of Doctor Strange. I thought that was good. You know, Captain America's have been pretty good, so on and so forth. And Vero 2 said, even Playboy, I just sold an extra 1978 Playboy cover with Dolly Parton and a 5.0 grade for 200. Crazy what graded magazines are pulling in. Yeah. And, you know, most Playboys, they're not worth anything. I mean, you see them in bins all the time. But if it's someone specific, if it's a like you said, Dolly Parton.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, well, Marilyn Monroe was in the first issue. She was in the very first issue. But, yeah, usually if it's a celebrity, it'll command a price. But most of the old Playboys, they don't sell. We see tons of them in antique malls and the bins.
What about
like
Nicki Minaj?
$5 a piece. What about Nicki Minaj? Was she in
Was
Playboy?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Where are you?
Well, I'm all the way down now where they're talking about taco pasta there. Hank says he had taco pasta. And Robert says it's pizza or Subway. I can always go for pizza. We have a really good local mom and pop pizza shop near where we are, and they make a really good pie. Yeah, it is thick and it is cheesy, and they pack in because we get the Greek vegetarian, and they pack in the vegetables, and it's just really well done.
They make a good lasagna too. Mm-hmm. We had the lasagna once. I completely forgot Doctor Strange even existed.
Well, they messed with him.
Doctor Strange wasn't bad.
Yeah, the first one was good. But they've done a lot of weird stuff with them apparently, and people are like, "What are you doing?" Mm-hmm. But the first one was good. They told the story. Mm-hmm. Here's this real arrogant doctor. Something really tragic happens to him. He completely falls apart and builds himself back up again, and that tells the story. You learn something about the character. You learn his flaws. You can sympathize with him, and you're happy to see him triumph. That's good storytelling. Mm-hmm. Not like what you see with a lot of these characters in other shows and movies.
Yeah, Robert, it's freezing down here as always.
It is cold. It is cold down here.
It's always cold down here. So I'm always wrapped up. I keep a blanket down here. And I'm always wrapped up. I always got my jacket on.
Oh, no. And all of that. Silly.
I am not. It's
You're
cold.
Silly. Oh, poor baby. Oh. What are you going to do? They were just asking about Buck Rogers, the show with Gil Gerard.
Oh,
it's a good show. And I think it's a good show. I like
they kill off LMA. It'll be real good. LMA? What that girl name
Wilma.
Is? Wilma. They kill her off. It's going to be amazing.
She does not like Wilma
She's
Deering's
just in
character.
the way.
She's a cock blocker.
Yeah, she's
And
lame.
doesn't work because, man, he always get the girl.
He does.
Always has the girl.
She
And
always
then she's always
jealous.
like,
Oh, Beck. And da da da. And then she'll see Buck with a girl. Don't you have work to do?
yeah, I know. Well, she threw herself at him in the movie because it was a film first.
Oh,
And then the
was it?
film, the first, like the 5-part episode
Mm-hmm.
is actually the movie.
Okay.
And they break it apart. But I mean, she threw herself at him. Well, she acted like nasty to him at first. Oh, here's this 20th century barbarian, blah, blah attitude. And then she was like, I totally misjudged you, Buck, and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then tried to kiss him. And he's like, yeah, I got to go. Blew her off. Hank says he loved all the Marvel films except for Venom.
Mm-hmm. I saw the first Venom.
And he checked out after Endgame because you cannot replace the actors that played all those characters. Robert says, David looks comfortable. I'm all right.
No, it ain't. He got a blanket over his legs.
Oh, yeah.
So he just tricking you, Robert. David cold, too.
Oh, yeah.
He just don't want to look like
It's
he
all
cold.
it's all that hulking muscle that,
Yeah.
It's all that hulking muscle.
He don't want to
keeps you
wrap
warm.
his arms up because he don't want y'all to see that he cold. But he
Oh, yeah.
got the blanket wrapped around his legs.
I don't
Because
care
I
if they
usually
see
keep
me.
two. I keep one wrapped on my upper and one on the lower, and he got my other blanket.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he cold.
What's wrong with you? Anyways, yeah, that was good. Battlestar Galactica's good.
Yeah, I actually understood that
Yeah.
show. I knew what they were doing, why they were in space, and where they were going. So I could get into Battlestar Galactica,
Mhm.
but a lot of those space shows I can't get into.
Battlestar 1984 was not, though, and that was the sequel to the original show. Yeah, but or is it 84 or 1980? Battlestar 1980.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. The show was badly written. They couldn't get the original actors back, except for what is his name? Lorne Green
Mm-hmm.
was like the only original actor,
Uh-huh.
and everybody else they replaced. And the whole that's why if you look up Battlestar Galactica 1980 or whatever, you can find it the whole season on disc for like $2 on Amazon because nobody wants it. However, the last couple of episodes, some of the best writing in the entire series. There's the 2-part Halloween episode.
Yeah, that was funny.
They're on Earth, and Wolfman Jack is there, and it's hilarious. The 2-part episode is actually pretty well done, and the very last episode is the return of Starbuck, where they explain what the hell happened to Starbuck.
Mm-hmm.
Which, of course, what happened to him was he's on the A team now,
Mm-hmm.
but because he's not in the show. But that is, yeah, Galactica 1980. Robert says, thank you. The that show, best writing out of the entire series, including the original show. It's like it's worth it just to watch that episode, even if you don't care for the Halloween show. But yeah, there's some good sci-fi shows from that time period. I like the $6 Million Man.
I never seen that.
It's a strong drama. It's surprising. When I was a kid, it was just like jumping.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he jumps over a fence and he runs in slow motion, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. And then, but watching it as an adult, and you're like, golly, this is actually a lot stronger of a drama than I could have understood when I was a child.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Especially like the pilot episode where he tries to commit suicide, and you're like, wow, okay, all that went it was right over your head when you were a kid. It goes right over your head. And then what else are we watching right now? The 90s Flash.
Yeah, which isn't bad. Hey, Stone Sour, thank you.
Stone Sour made a
for
donation.
the donations.
For
Hit
the
that
kitty.
like button.
It's
yes.
for the kitties. Thank you. The
Yes.
kitties, thank you. We're still juggling 20 right now.
Oh God.
We're still juggling 20 right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't. I at 10 minutes in, on the first episode of the remake of Galactica, I was done.
Yeah, because they made Starbuck a woman.
And she was an ass. Starbuck did not have that kind of personality. He was a bit of a huckster. He was a bit of a hustler, but he was not rude and nasty to people.
Hmm.
And I was just like, what are they
Yeah,
doing?
he was a likable character.
Yeah, he was a likable character. We're watching the 90s Flash, which is fun.
18. I mean,
No.
Knight Rider. I
Knight
meant to say
Rider.
Knight
Knight
Rider.
Rider, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch, but
Yeah.
it's like, it's crazy the stuff that they get away with on that show. It doesn't make any sense, and then
Still
things
on
don't work
Dells.
from time to time.
Yeah.
They're not consistent with Knight Rider. Like, for example, Michael can be on the 20th floor of an office building on his little watch talking to Kit. Kit, you got to help me out with this safe here. And then the dial starts turning. He's like somehow using magnetic forces or something to open a safe on the 20th story of an office building. But then he's in a police impound yard. Kit
Mhm.
gets picked up and they put him up on the risers and he can't get down. You can open a safe on the 20th floor, but you can't push the button to lower the hydraulic lift. It's
John McJunkin loved the original Battlestar, but he keep thinking of Lauren and in Bonanza.
oh,
David, I've heard a lot of positive things about the Batman '89 comics that came out recently. Have y'all read any
haven't
of them?
seen it. Haven't seen it, but we don't pay too much attention to the modern stuff. Robert loved the $6 Million Man and Bionic Woman and the 78 Wonder Woman.
We watching that too.
Yeah, 78
Stupid
Wonder Woman
movie.
is funny. It's funny. And pop culture
Mhm.
says original Battlestar was a staple for them as a kid, along with the animated Flash Gordon.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
was
fantastic
very
show.
good. Yeah.
Buck Rogers, Ghost and Mrs. Muir.
We saw the movie.
The movie is really good.
Yeah.
The original movie from the 40s
Hmm.
that the TV show is based on. Gilligan's Island and all that good stuff. Nothing wrong with that pop
We used to
culture.
watch Gilligan's Island every day because it used to come on after school.
Yeah, it was in reruns forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know. It was funny back then. I don't know if it's still funny, as an adult, but as a kid, it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Never could figure out why they couldn't get off that island, though. And then I saw the movie where they got off the island,
Mm-hmm.
and then they wanted to go back.
Well, that was the second movie. There was two made-for-TV movies,
Mhm.
Return to Gilligan's Island, and then the other one. And in the first one, they ended up back on the island by accident. And then the second one, they escaped for real, but then they decided again, man, we really hate this. We've been away for too long.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Howell built a resort there.
Yeah.
And that's when they had the Globetrotters.
Oh.
The Globetrotters were on that episode.
Oh, okay. I'm not saying Gilligan. K Munin couldn't get in Battlestar Galactica. It just never clicked for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the classic Galactica.
Remake was okay.
Okay.
And Nerd liked the remake.
Okay.
That's all right. But back to Flash. Flash is a little goofy, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And then the 78 Wonder Woman.
It's retarded.
78 Wonder Woman, I think they were going for kind of the same thing that they had with the 66 Batman and the Adam West Batman, because the premises of things that happened on that show, it's too ridiculous.
Yeah, but at least on the 66 Batman, that narrator really helped it out.
Yeah, that did help a lot. That did add, so because they were making it sound like a movie serial. And Blue Splash says they postponed collecting comics. They just got bored quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, things that she does, like the lasso, keeps changing. Like it's like this shiny gold lasso, and it's like a super thin cord on her side, and then she takes it off to use it, and it looks like it's that thick, and it looks like a regular rope. And then
then she runs ultra slow.
She runs like this, and it like takes these little like fat leg steps. And she, like how Jason always catches up to everyone, even though he's walking and they're running. And then of course they flip-flop back and forth, and I understand why they did that though, because she can't run in those heels.
Yeah,
she's got the heels on, and then they're flats, and then they're heels again, and then they're flats, and then they're heels again.
I can't understand why her underwear is padded. That's what I mean. It's like, okay, you got on this outfit, man. But why is it padded?
Oh, I don't know.
That's
and then Steve is so rude. He's Like the beauty pageant episode.
Hmm.
I love that though. And he was like, she was thinking that, oh, maybe because there's Nazi spies in the beauty pageant.
Yeah,
Lord
of
knows there's a
course.
Nazi spy everywhere. Every other person in the show is a Nazi
Yeah.
spy. It's incredible how much they've infiltrated the United States. Thank God for Wonder Woman, or else who knows how bad it would be. The whole country's surrounded by U-boats, and the guy selling newspapers is a spy. The waitress is a spy. Everybody's a damn spy. But the spies in the beauty pageant, and she's gonna infiltrate the beauty pageant, and he was like, well, I appreciate your enthusiasm, Diana, but only really gorgeous women can get into beauty pageants. And she was like, oh, I see, Steve. Like, what the hell, man? Oh no.
And Captain America on a regular TV series instead of just two made-for-TV movies. Okay.
Oh, the original Captain America TV. I have those on disc with the rubber ears on the helmet. Yeah.
I never saw Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's Angels is goofy. Oh, is there? How about oh no, you know what? You don't like Dr. McGee either, do you?
Who's that?
The doctor from Star Labs on
No,
Flash.
I like her. She's pretty
Oh,
cool.
you do like Dr. McGee.
Yeah.
She gets jealous quick though. She needs to
she
stay.
do.
She needs to say something.
She need to make her intentions known.
Clear. Make yourself clear to Barry Allen.
Yeah.
Because he's confused.
Yeah, because he like her, but he don't think she like him. Hogan's Heroes. And
Hello.
Yeah.
British show.
Yeah.
Greatest American Hero. Yeah, it was played at school after a while. I never saw any of that stuff at school. Greatest American Hero was fun. That was a fun show. Extremely rare Mego figures associated with that, because mostly all that was available was like salesman samples. Very rare.
Yeah, we saw Pacific Rim. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was
It was all right.
Yeah, they in those big mech suits. Almost,
Yes.
It kind of want to remind you a little bit of Exo Squad, because
Yeah.
you got a person
Only
inside
bigger.
the mech suit.
Yeah.
I like what they did with that female character on
Yes.
there. She was like the little protege. She was in training, but the guy
She
didn't
thought
think
she was so smart and screwed up really bad,
Yeah.
and then wanted to just quit. And then he's like, he helped her put it back together. And I thought that was well done, because then you see her with a flaw. She's not just perfect all the time.
Yeah. She had flaws, and she admitted when she was wrong. But yeah, I thought it was a good movie. Yeah, they were beautiful people. I ain't
They were
denying
attractive
that.
women,
Yeah, they
yes.
were pretty. Just that the character was annoying. Wilma's character is annoying.
Yeah, she don't like Wilma.
Had nothing to do with her look. She's a pretty woman.
Yeah.
She's just annoying. And Linda Carter is pretty too. It's just that
she's wearing a diaper.
Yeah. And just the whole Wonder Woman concept is just doofy.
Yeah.
I like the show though.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
fun.
the show. It's a fun show. It's just the things she do, like when she jumps straight up the building, but then she jumps out, but then she is on top of the building, and she's always getting caught, and she gets chloroform like every episode.
Either her or Steve are kidnapped every other episode. and she always gets chloroformed. She gets chloroformed, and it's like, okay, you think you'd be wise to that by now. And when dude comes running up on you with a rag, you'd manage it, since you're strong enough to like lift up one end of a car. You can handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, Munin says, when you mention giant robots, Gundam is the only thing that comes to mind. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Robert says, Marvel 70s superheroes would have been a watch. 70s Spider-Man, yep. 70s Captain America, Hulk, Doctor Strange. The 70s Doctor Strange movie is ridiculous.
Oh,
and dude has a big afro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he does. Big curly hair. And the 70s Spider-Man had a great funky theme song. Wonder Woman's got a great funky theme song. That theme song is fun. The lyrics don't make any damn sense.
No.
Well,
satin tights fighting for your rights.
Satin tights fighting for our rights, and the old red, white, and blue. And so you just threw together anything that would rhyme.
Yeah.
But the music is really funky. It's like, hey. And Tommy says, Love mechs going back to Shogun Warriors. Yes, I'm a big fan of BattleTech. And of course, you see I got a row of the old Mattel Shoguns right there. I love those. Oh, Werewolf, greetings from Australia. And the beard reminds me of cotton candy. Well, no, you can't. I don't advise trying to eat it. Hair is difficult to digest.
Maybe Bionic Woman was better at jump. I never saw
She
Bionic
never saw
Woman
it.
or $6 Million Man.
And Pop Culture said,
Story.
did you ever watch Robo Story, foreign animated series dubbed in English, weird, trippy, and off the wall? I don't think I've seen that.
No, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen
I'll
that.
write it down.
And John says, favorite times growing up as a kid, getting sick and staying home, watching cartoons in the morning and afternoon with game shows, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, Gilligan. Yeah, because that was like your typical UHF lineup. You'd see I Love Lucy. You might see the Jack Benny Show reruns, of course. Leave It to Beaver. And then, of course, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, and all of those shows, Gilligan's Island, Our Gang. And then it would start to transition into cartoons for the after school crowd, Inspector Gadget, whatever. And then it would go to 70s retired sitcoms, 60s and 70s retired sitcoms after the cartoons. And you get the Brady Bunch, you get Welcome Back, Kotter, stuff like that.
Actually, don't forget about Force 5 cartoons. That was a combination of 4 Japanese super robot shows. And a show named Space Cateers.
Says Nostalgic. That is correct. And Space Cateers was particularly bizarre because I remember the one guy, I can't think of his name. He always had a calculator. And he was like, well, what are the odds? And he'd like type up on the calculator and it would flash all these images. You'd see like a cowboy and a cat and all kinds of weird stuff on the calculator. And then he could read that somehow. He was from the water planet. And there was a heavy guy, big fat guy, and he was on a planet that was made out of mud. And
that sounds kind of strange.
His planet was, and his ship would burrow through the mud. The action figures from that, the original Japanese action figures from that series, are astronomically expensive.
I bet you
from
it
Space Cateers, yeah. I didn't like how she manipulated them.
Oh yeah,
the princess. Yeah, she coerced those 3 guys.
I love the 80s.
He says, I love your channel and everything you do. The 80s greatest decade ever for toys and about everything else. Well, I think everything kind of culminated in the 80s. I've said that before. It's like it hit the 80s and then it kind of started riding down. The 90s was still okay, but it was on a decline. Music, television, movies, wrestling stars, all of that. Munin says, now that Shogun Warriors are mentioned, it's a little surprising with all these nostalgic toy lines coming up. No one has tried to make modern Shogun Warrior figures.
We see you shown somebody that was making one of them Zingers. You showed it a couple of weeks back.
But they're small and they're super expensive.
Yeah, they're not big like these.
The only person trying to do anything akin to this is Super 7.
Yeah, they have those.
And the only thing that they've made that actually fits with the Shogun line is the Mecha Godzilla that goes with these Godzillas. They did do a Mecha Godzilla that falls right in with these 3. But they have not done anything like these. But they've done, like the Skeletor version. Yeah. They've done some Star Wars versions. They did some
Transformers too.
Yeah, and it's just like it's not quite the same.
Yeah, but they haven't like David said, nobody's done the big ones like these back here. Do you have any Dreadnoughts?
Not carded. I have the loose ones, but I don't have any on the card.
Oh yeah, on YouTube. I never watched all the Joel episodes. I always like Mike better. Yeah, we watch it on Pluto TV. Yeah. They have the MST3K channel and the Rift Track channel.
Rift Tracks is fun.
Yeah, and it's about the same thing because it's the same people, and they just show it 24 hours a day. On both of those.
Keep in mind, Joel wasn't really scripted. That was more improv. And as Mike comes closer and closer, you start seeing scripts, and then Mike just took over.
Yeah.
So it's a different feel as opposed to them sitting there and just talking over the movie to reading a script.
Yeah. And when you see them, it takes away from it to me because on Rift Tracks they have Rift Tracks Live, where because they go around
Uh-huh.
and they
Do
do the
live
show. They do the
performances.
live performance where the movie's playing and then they're standing on the side reading out their
Yeah.
parts. But when you see that, to me, it takes away from the whole premise of the show
Hmm.
because the premise is they're watching a movie and then they're just riffing it.
Yes.
But then when you see it, they're not even facing the
Yeah, they can't
screen.
even see the screen.
They facing the audience, and you can see them reading the paper, flipping it, reading the paper, flipping it, and then it's like, oh. And then on the riff tracks live, also sometimes they'll bring the wives in and all these other people, and the wives are not good at all. You could tell that they're reading, but at least when the regular guys do it,
They can emote it better.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't, even though you know they're reading it, it doesn't feel like they're reading it. Yeah. So, yeah, but we watch it all the time on Pluto because again they have the MST3K channel and the Riff Track channel.
And Hank says Leave It to Beaver was an awesome show. It was a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fun show. And Tommy said, oh, he's talking to K Munin.
Okay.
And Munin wants to know, a fat guy in a mud planet, how does it not sink and get stuck? Because it burrows through the mud. It's a little drilly things, and I'm surprised you never saw Space
Oh,
Cateers.
okay. Nostalgic bought the new set of Space Cateer figures made recently
Yeah.
by Action Toys because I guess I had the original Popey
Yeah.
figures.
And they're very expensive. And
Mhm.
also there's the actual, not the vinyl ones, but actual action figures with a vehicle, a functional vehicle in like in a box. And those are insane. They're like $700, $1,000 easy.
Wow.
Pop Culture says Ulysses 31, Star Blazers, Mysterious Cities of Gold, the cartoons they devoured every afternoon after school. Yeah, Star Blazers, we're watching now.
Yeah.
I love that show. And of course, there was also Robotech, and then there was G-Force or Battle of the Planets, Gachimon, and
Munin went the original.
Original.
No cheap figures either.
Yes.
No knockoff, no
I don't blame you.
crossovers.
I don't blame you. And Hank says, I think you have to combine the 80s. To combine the 80s and 90s, the best period of time for toys, movies, and television and music as well. I don't know. Because I would lean more to the 70s
Mm-hmm.
than the 90s, although the 90s did produce some good stuff. It started to trail off towards the end of the 90s, though.
I
Speed
never got
Racer.
I never got into the Japanese animated style shows, so I never watched any of that.
Yeah.
I don't care for the Godzilla and all of
I
those
remember
movies
Speed Racer.
now.
Speed Racer was cool.
So I don't know about all that.
And Gilgamesh says he found out MST3K people had a third show called Film Crew.
Yeah,
that's right.
We watched that too.
Same guys and same concept as the other shows. Yeah, they've and there's another one, Cinematic Titanic.
Yeah, you can find that on YouTube. That's with Joel.
They've attempted it several times, and the Riff Tracks is the one that has stuck so far.
Cinematic Titanic is better because it's not live, but you can see the character. Okay, because you got Joel, you got the two original mad scientists.
Yes.
And then you got the lady, and then you got Frank, TV's Frank, and they're sitting in front of the movies.
They're on the scaffolding.
On the scaffolding.
They sit on the sides of the on like scaffolding, like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but they're actually looking at the film.
Yes,
and they have no paper, so it might be scripted and they remembered their lines, but it feels more genuine than like when you watch Riff Tracks. Because again, when you watch Riff Tracks live, they're not facing the screen, and you can see them reading the script.
Yeah. John says they get Battle of the Planets, Robotech, and other anime on a regular American substations.
Yeah, I never got into anime. I watch it now, but I just started watching it a couple years ago. I watched lately a lot of South Park lately when my Wi-Fi doesn't go out.
And Tommy loved Star Blazers.
Yeah, Star Blazers is really
It's
good.
well done.
Hmm.
It's well done. The music is really good. The animation's good. The
Yeah.
season 3 though, they changed the voice actors.
Yeah,
And
I'm kind of not feeling it as
yeah.
much now because the voices changed. Especially, I think I would have been all right if they didn't change Deathlock's voice.
She liked
He
Deathlock the
had a
way he was.
distinct voice,
Yeah.
and it fit the character. Well, it fit the mood of the character
Yeah.
and everything. It felt
The
like,
arrogance of the character,
yeah,
it fit.
and that's how his voice sound, just real arrogant but soft and mellow. He never got upset, never got angry, didn't just kind of talking. And now they changed everybody's voice.
Yeah.
70s and 80s toys are the best, said Nerd
According to Nerd.
101.
And Nostalgic says he just bought a complete Popey
Ah.
Yamato DX spaceship, has all kinds of gimmicks, shooting missiles from the wave motion gun, 21 inches long. Yeah, I think I've seen that on the.
Wow.
He's shown it on the Facebook.
Oh man.
He's shown that on the Facebook.
Mm.
And Munin says, don't forget the anime boom of the 90s and 2000s to led to it becoming mainstream. Yeah, of course, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, a lot of that stuff, Ronin Warriors.
Oh my God, claiming its rightful throne.
Oh no. I like Dragon Ball Z. I like the
I never seen it.
original. I like the original 5 seasons
Hmm.
with Goku as a little kid though,
Hmm.
because it's more entertaining. Um, the second series is good too though. I like the second series too, but I like the first series better.
Yeah.
When he was a little kid, and then they jump to him as a young adult, and I think at that point they kind of lose track of what people are capable of because they kept overpowering people. And then it's like, well, then before you could do this and now you can't do that, or you can do this too, and it got a little confusing, but it was still well done. It was still well done and true to the manga because the writer insisted on it. And there's this whole big thing with like a couple of episodes where he's standing around with Frieza and it's like, can we get to the fight or what? What's the delay? The delay was that the guy writing it didn't he didn't get it set on time. He was behind schedule. And so the manga hadn't come out and they weren't going to do it until it did.
Oh, okay. So they had to drag it out.
So they had to drag that out by it's making up a whole extra episode in the middle without changing the continuity, so they wouldn't piss the guy off. I can't remember the name of the writer. One guy wrote all of it. Gilgamesh said Star Blazers remake called Space Battleship Yamato 2199 was a good remake.
Oh, okay. I'll look for that.
And Munin says manga's outselling comics. That's true. Well, it's got bad writing.
Yeah.
The modern stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people at work read manga. They say it all the time because I read comic books, and they're like, "Why don't you read manga?"
Yeah, she reads older comic books, and it's better.
Yeah.
Nostalgic likes the anime shows from 70s and 80s, but later anime lost him. The old shows had a charm that was lost later. Robert says that's how they feel about the Battle of the Planets. To me, that's how I hear the characters, although I don't care for the redub as Eagle Riders or whatever they redid. And Nerd says the first anime they watched in the 90s was Akira, Crying Freeman, and Golgo 13. Oh, God, Golgo 13. How old were you? Golgo 13, is that with the professional? Or am I thinking of the right one? Is Golgo 13 is the professional, right? And yeah, there's some pretty graphic stuff in that.
Yeah, we watch kung fu movies on Sunday.
Yeah.
Usually I try to reserve Sundays for kung fu because I like watching kung fu. And growing up, we watched it like every so often. I don't know if it was on TV or somebody had a VCR tape, but we would watch it every so often. I don't know what, but I know we would watch it every so often. It would be on, and I always enjoyed watching it. And now, I'll find them on Tubi because they got a lot of kung fu movies on Tubi, and we'll watch something. and I like to reserve Sundays for that
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
It's,
I like watching
and
kung
some
fu
of that
movies
stuff
on
is
Sunday.
nuts.
Yeah, but I don't care for the comedy one that much. It's a lot
No.
of comedy kung fu. I like the drama ones better because it actually, well, all of them basically got the same story. So either some guy's dad was killed and they got to go defend the family's honor, or the school is being taken away, or the schoolmaster is killed. They got to go defend that honor. It's always the same plot basically,
Yeah.
but the delivery in the in the drama ones I think is better, and in the comedy, it's always like goofy. You always got that one goofy guy, and you always have the scene where they're training to learn to become a kung fu person. And usually in a drama, everybody already knows kung fu. We just got to get down to this battle. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You do learn something about feudal Chinese culture, though.
Mm-hmm.
Stay out of the marketplace. Stay away from restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
and stay away from kung fu schools unless you just want the living crap kicked out of you,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where the fights all start. If somebody's in the marketplace and they destroy everybody's tables,
Mm-hmm.
or or you're in the tea house and you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to eat your noodles or whatever, and then a fight breaks out, and then the shop owner, or the guy who owns because they usually have rooms upstairs or something, he's like, oh no, please.
The writer of Dragon Ball Z died earlier this
Yeah.
year, and yep, he watched The Professional,
Akira
and
Yuriyama.
sadly, we have
Toriyama.
lost many manga writers the last few years. Or two just recently passed away.
Yeah. Nostalgic remembers Battle of the Planets. When he was bored in high school, he would doodle in class and draw the Phoenix ship.
Love that design.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Phoenix ship would burn on the exterior.
Oh,
I don't
did
think I saw the second one, Munin.
Queen
Gold
Bee.
13. I saw the first one. I don't think I saw the second one. And then Robert says, "Have you seen Lone Wolf and Cub?" Yes, I have. I have the whole series on disc, but on mine, not all of them are dubbed. I've
Mm,
got the original box set, so they've done them all in English now. That's a fun series.
mm. Reading them backwards is weird.
Oh yeah, reading because you start on
Yeah,
the
you start in the back
opposite
of the book.
opposite page on
Didn't you
the
buy some manga today when we went to Goodwill?
yeah, but I don't remember what it is.
Something about school debut, high
Yeah,
school debut, or something
something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
But I'm not familiar with it. I don't read that. I don't really read a lot of that kind of stuff.
Mm,
And I remember Kung Fu Hustle. That's what Gilgamesh is bringing up.
mm,
Royal
mm.
Tramp movies are great martial arts comedies. They're all Stephen Chow movies. I've seen Kung Fu Hustle. I haven't seen Royal Champ. Kung Fu Hustle.
I don't know. I probably seen it. I don't know because I just watch whatever's on Tubi, really, and just keep going.
Kung Fu Hustle is all right.
Mm.
I think you could tolerate it. I think the one that you wouldn't. I don't know if. What's the other parody? Kung Pao. I don't think you could stomach Kung Pao
We
though.
saw the flying guillotine. That was good.
Yeah, the old blind man with the cage that he throws over people's heads.
And the chop your head off. The
Uh-huh.
Hero of the East. I don't know if we saw that in the Seven Samurai. I'm not sure because like
Because they rename them too. Some
yeah,
of these have multiple titles, so we
yeah,
could have seen it and not be
and
sure.
even on Tubi they show it with different names, and then you start
Mhm.
watching like I already saw this, and they just changed the name and they got them all on there. So
Mhm.
yeah, but I know I've seen the flying guillotine. That one was good because it's like how do you even do that?
It's not accessible. Munin is asking if I can show the
Oh,
book. And yeah, a lot of Jackie Chan movies,
we
especially.
just saw one a couple weeks ago where he was pretending to be a mute because his family was killed, and he
Oh
went
yeah,
to the temple
to learn.
to learn kung fu, and then you had to at the end, once you become a the monk, of course you got to do this thing to get out, and he had to fight these iron. It was called the Iron.
They were wooden dummies.
Yeah, but the name of it was the Iron Guards. I think it was called the Iron Guards, and you got to fight these wooden dummies to get out.
Yeah.
And he was learning from a guy that they had locked up, and this old woman was teaching him two different styles, and he used that to get out. Then come to find out, the guy that was in prison is the guy that killed his family, and
Mhm.
he ended up fighting that guy at the end. And he could talk all the time. He just took a vow of silence until he figured out who killed his family so he can avenge him. It was actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, Nostalgic said the best 70s kung fu movie's Deadly Strike. It's hilarious. Every few years, my friends get together to watch it. Have we seen that?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
gotta
know
write
either.
that one down.
I'm not sure.
Let me write it
Because
down.
again, you know, they do alter the
Mhm.
names. Some of them they have multiple titles, and you can't always be sure.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
Robert wants to watch Enter the Ninja and Enter the
Ninja
Ninja
3.
3. He forgot the title. And sometimes it's a kung fu movie, and they talk about ninjas and samurais, and there ain't none in it. They just titled it that way. But yeah, we're big on the old kung fu movies.
Hmm.
The old Hong Kong Express, and everybody's got a British accent.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. We're gonna go have dinner.
Yeah.
And also we got to get ready for the show tomorrow.
Yes.
So thanks everybody who was able to join us here tonight. Hope you had a good time, and we'll do this again sometime soon.
Oh, hold on. Let's see this real quick. Oh, let's see. Question real quick. Do you consider the character of Master Kung Fu to be considered superhero?
Master of Kung Fu from Marvel.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
I don't think I've read it.
Mm.
I don't think I've read the old Master of the Kung Fu comics.